Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be really special as I have my first ever special guest on the channel. We're going to be ranking some of the most popular cybersecurity certificates on the market right now. The guest is named Michael Small. He's my friend, my mentor, and my colleague, and he's one of the most knowledgeable people that I've met in the industry so far. He's really good at what he does. He has years of experience and also a lot of experience when it comes to certifications. So I thought this would be the perfect video to have him on and have him share his opinions on these different certifications. If you guys want to learn more about him and connect with him, all of his information will be in the description below. And also, if you guys find this video valuable and helpful, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. Mike, before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and plug whatever you want to plug in.
Yeah, hey, what's up, Dan? Appreciate it. So I am co-founder and lead pen tester at Tandem Cyber Solutions. You're a neighborhood-friendly penetration testing company for those who take security seriously. One other thing we have going on, we have a sales rep program for independent sales reps out there that's open to pretty much anyone. So a lot of college kids we're looking at coming in there with no experience. We train them up, we get them in there and get them out there selling and networking and all that. So it's a good time for sure. So yeah, tandemcybersolutions.com is the website. Now a little bit about me. So I have, I don't know, maybe 10 years of experience, something like that, 19 certifications. So Ben was like, yo, you got a lot of stuff. Why don't you tell some people about it? So that's what I'm here. My background's in both the red side, so the offensive side, and the blue side, the defensive side. Worked in a SOC, done forensics, malware analysis. I've also been a pen tester and, of course, have a pen testing company. So I'm a little all over the place.
We have several certifications right here. A lot of them are probably one of the most popular in the entire industry. So we're gonna go ahead and rank them starting from left to right. So I guess the first one, we'll go ahead and start off with the Security Plus.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. So this is probably one of my favorite first ones to get for anyone who wants a good foundational level of security, cybersecurity knowledge. I did a while back, right around COVID time, and it is one of the most sought after entry level ones. So if you do like a lookup of all the job listings, you're gonna see Security Plus the most out of any of them, hands down. So this is a really great one, great foundational knowledge, and it actually shows up in job listings. So bonus there as well. Really good one. Rank. Now in terms of hands-on, there's not a lot there. That's the only downside with this one. So I'd say it's an A because it's great for your resume, great for foundational knowledge, just not great for hands-on.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that one. Security Plus, definitely seen as one of the most popular entry-level certifications on the market. HR definitely looks for it, especially for the entry-level jobs. But yeah, the one downside it does have is not having sort of the hands-on sort of questions and labs. Definitely just all multiple choice. So that's the one thing that's kind of holding it back from the S tier for sure. All right, so moving on to Network Plus. What do you think about that one?
I don't know that I would rank it as high. I would say it's one of the harder ones in CompTIA. This was actually my very first one I ever got, believe it or not.
Okay.
It was hard, and I've heard other people struggled on it a little bit, but you just don't see it as often in job listings. And again, there's no hands-on like you would get from a Cisco certification. So I would say this is kind of a B. Really great info, great, especially if you haven't done any networking, because that's a tough topic in its own right. But in terms of it being attractive to HR, helping you on the job, not so much, just good knowledge more than anything.
One popular question that I get on my channel all the time is asking me, Ben, whether or not they should get the Network Plus before the Security Plus or the Security Plus before the Network Plus. Does the order matter, and do these certifications, does one of them help you with the other?
I think Network Plus is a really good network certification if you don't want to dive deep, like be a network admin or anything like that. But what's great about a lot of these CompTIA certs is a lot of crossover and domain coverage. So Security Plus, I think, has quite a bit of networking stuff. So I would say you would be fine doing Security Plus and then moving from that to a more specialized certification, depending on what route you want to take. So I would say, no, not necessarily. I didn't know what I was doing, like a lot of people getting in cybersecurity when I took it. So I took it.
So Security Plus and Network Plus off the chart here. Now let's move on to the A Plus. This one is kind of controversial. Some people say to skip over it. Some people say you need to start at the A Plus if you have no background experience. What are your thoughts, Mike?
That's a really good argument a lot of people bring up. If you have no experience, where do you start? That could be a good place to start, especially if you have zero experience. But I think a lot of people, especially now coming out of schools, they're pretty familiar with computers, right? It's not like your grandparents or your parents or whatever it is who didn't grow up with all of that. Most of us have at this point, so I don't know that it's super necessary. And a lot of people actually hate that kind of stuff. But the upsides of it is if you get it, you kind of have another potential trap. Cybersecurity is getting a little tough to get into. You want a little competition or be a little bit more competitive out there. So it may be a way to get into the IT help desk track if that is a route that you're thinking about. It's not necessary, but some people like to start there, get a year or so of experience and then move on. So if that is a route you're thinking about, I would say, yeah, go for it. If you don't care about the help desk, that isn't even of question. Like for me, I was like, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to do it. No, don't do it. Don't touch it. Leave it for other people.
Okay, that's a good point you bring up about the help desk part. What would you rank this on the chart here?
For cybersecurity, I put it down as C or D. I'll give it a C.
Okay.
I'll give it a C. I'll be nice. I'll be soft.
All right, being generous today, Mike. Okay, we have the trifecta off the charts here. So I guess from a cybersecurity perspective, I know I get this question a lot also. Do you recommend people getting for cybersecurity solely focused on like cybersecurity jobs? Do you recommend getting the trifecta before starting to apply for jobs, or do you think maybe just the Security Plus is necessary?
Yeah, so I would do the Security Plus or I don't want to spoiler alert, CYSA, one of those two. I think they're pretty interchangeable now. But Sec Plus has definitely been on more job listings, but go for a theoretical, which is what I consider CompTIA, than a hands-on, which I think there's quite a few good options here for hands-on. That's what I would do. Okay. And then labs, lots of lab time.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We have the Blue Team Level 1 that I actually just recently, not too long ago, completed. This one is quite the opposite of the CompTIA ones that we just talked about, where it's giving you sort of a hands-on experience, also teaching you as well. So I think it's a really good combo. It's from a really good company. I mean, it gives you like experience to multiple tools and all that sort of stuff. This one I'd say is close to the A or S tier. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, you're giving it an A or S tier? I would put it on S tier.
Okay.
I think it is one of the few out of all of these. It may be one of the only one that not only gives you hands-on, but tests you hands-on. I don't think any of these, GCIH maybe for general cybersecurity a little bit, no other ones actually test that you can apply your knowledge. So in terms of me, if I were a hiring manager and I see someone with this, I would rank that over pretty much any of these other ones except one of the offensive ones if you're doing OffSec route. Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best ones out there. It gives you hands-on experience with different types of tools, with a SIM. Really a perfect starter level certification for someone looking to get into the security operations center sort of analyst role. So highly recommend that one as well. But moving on to the flip side of things, from the blue team to the red team of things, what do you think about the OSCP? I've heard some great things about it. They also had didn't they have a recent change of pricing and stuff like that?
Yeah, they've been kind of getting more corporate-y lately. They used to be like a hacker company, but yeah, I think they just got bought out or something like that as well. There's some people that there's a love-hate out there in the industry for these people. You have those who hate it because they have this whole try harder mentality where you don't get a ton of help from the community when you go into Discord and stuff. They're like, try harder, you didn't try enough, go do it. And to me, that's real world. You get into a pen test, you don't have support there to help you try to figure out how to get this exploit to work. So a lot of it's, hey, figure this out on your own. Yes, you're going to be beating your head against the wall. Yes, it's going to be painful. But if you come out on top, you're going to be in a fantastic position to start doing your first pen test role. For me, this is an S tier, hands down. I consider the Hacker High School diploma. There are a few other ones that I would say, if you want to be in pen test and you have it, I'd be like, all right, you're good. I have a great understanding of where your skill level is, at least the bottom, hands down, because it's so difficult.
And this one definitely has the hands-on aspect to it as well, right? In order to pass the certification.
Oh, yeah. You have 24 hours to basically take over a corporate network, and it's no easy feat. Very few people pass on the first go. Very tough.
Okay, so it's like the gold star of going into the red team kind of thing. Sounds good.
Almost as essential. So this is like penetration testing. This is this is what you're going to see on most job listings for the red side of the house.
All right, so moving on to the CISA Plus. This one was sort of like SOC analyst sort of certification. I haven't done it yet, but Mike, what do you think about it?
I haven't done this one either. This is one of the few that I haven't done, but I've worked with a lot of people and I've trained a lot of people who have gotten this either in lieu of the Security Plus or right after it. And they all say amazing things. They say there's a lot of overlap between this and the Security Plus. So that's what I was talking about earlier. I would do one or the other. I wouldn't do both. But I would say this would be a B in my book because it doesn't have the same recognition, the same brand awareness as the Sec Plus does.
Okay.
But in terms of knowledge that you would get, it's the same level of knowledge, just not the same level of recognition at this point.
I'm not too familiar with it. Does it have hands-on aspect to it, or is it kind of like the Security Plus?
Yeah, it's like all the other CompTIA ones.
Oh, gotcha.
Minimal.
All right, so next up we have the CISSP. This one is sort of a little bit different from the others, where it's a little bit more of a certification you get more down the road with more years of experience. So kind of speak on this, Mike. What do you think about it?
Yeah, this is an interesting one to throw in because most of these are pretty entry level. For me, if you're an entry level person with this, I would look at you with the same level of knowledge as a Security Plus.
Okay. Why you say that?
Because it's almost the exact same domains. I think maybe CISSP has a little bit more domains it covers, but you don't have the on-the-job experience. So it doesn't really help you. You know, it's great to have all the book knowledge of the world, but you can't think on the fly if you can't use that knowledge creatively in a real-world situation. Pretty useless. But however, if you start looking into the leadership role, so after that entry level, it's an amazing one. And it's something I would highly recommend anyone to get if they're looking at taking a leadership route. So a type of manager role, any type of lead role. This is almost a must have in a lot of corporate places. You're not going to get a lot of hands-on, which is the downside, and you're not really going to learn much new except maybe buzzwords and stuff like that. But in terms of meeting requirements on a job listing and that brand recognition there, huge. So kind of like Sec Plus for managers, I guess.
Okay. So would you say like an A+ or something up here?
I would put it as an A because it kind of meets the same thresholds. If we're talking about entry-level cyber, I would put it at a B though. But if we're talking about just overall cybersecurity, what's good to have, I would put it at an A.
All right, moving back over to the more red side of things, we have the PJPT from TCM Security. TCM has a pretty good, strong reputation in the cybersecurity industry. He's also a YouTuber in the space, the Cyber Mentor. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, Heath and his folks are doing some good work over there at TCM. So I've looked through the material. I haven't done this one. So it was just coming out when I got out of the entry section. But I did look through the material because I got free access to it. It looked like it covered a lot of really good stuff. I mean, he's pretty big on doing what's practical. And I will tell you that I like his mindset with the exams. This is the junior one, right? Not the... Yeah. So I don't know if this one does it, but the next one up, it's almost like the OSCP. It's a little bit easier, but he also makes you present your report, which is very cool. You don't typically have, and that's super realistic because in pen testing, not only do you have to write up your findings, you also have to present them to the client and show impact. So that's a very interesting take on offensive security. So for this, and so something else that's really cool is his are super affordable. He usually has deals all the time on them. So you're getting great knowledge, good pricing. It just doesn't have a ton of brand awareness yet, but it's getting there. This is tough. It's like a B, right between a B and an A, I would say.
Like a B+ or A-.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's good stuff, and it's only going to get better. Their company keeps growing, so I think long term, these are going to be no-brainers going into the future, I think.
We'll go ahead and throw it in as an A here.
Oh, you're a nice grader.
All right, next up, we have a cloud certification. This one is definitely more of an entry-level one. I actually took it myself, and it passed in about a week or so, and it covers pretty much every single AWS service that Amazon has to offer. It doesn't really go in depth into them and, how to actually use AWS. So it's more sort of a surface level one, kind of like the Security Plus, where it teaches you more of a sort of a breadth instead of, going deep down. And in terms of HR recognition and stuff like that, I think it's pretty sought after, but definitely not as much as maybe like the solutions architect or maybe a different cloud certification. So for me, I probably put this around like probably a B range or a C range, just because there's no hands-on experience and it's sort of a surface level certification. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, same. I have the same feeling. Like, it was really cool. I learned a lot about the underlying pieces when I took this. I think I took it maybe 2 years ago. And before then, I had done some stuff in the cloud, but I learned about a lot of new services and actually learned how to save money, which they hit on pricing a lot.
True. Yep.
I would say if you don't really care about cloud that much, because you don't really need it for everything in cybersecurity, it is a specialty in its own right. I wouldn't really worry about it unless you have an employer that's making you get it. Sure, go get whatever certification you can get for free. But yeah, I'm with you. where you put it.
I guess we'll go with the C then. It's maybe a nice to have, but definitely not a need to have.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Next one is a newer certification. I don't know if you've heard about it, Mike, but it's called the Google Cybersecurity Certificate, offered on Coursera. It was one of the first ones that I took. I mean, it's sort of like the way I like to see it, it's like a beginner version, like an appetizer, Security Plus. It kind of gives you some hands-on experience with some labs and stuff like that, but also covers multiple foundational concepts of cybersecurity overall, but doesn't go really in depth. So I think it's really good for beginners who want to get a sort of beginner taste before going into the Security Plus. In terms of HR recognition, I wouldn't say it holds as much value as, the Security Plus or the CompTIA certifications. So that might affect its grading. Have you heard of this certification before, Mike?
Yeah, I heard they were doing something because this is either like super low cost or free, right?
Yeah, this one's $49 a month. So definitely not a whole lot of investment up front.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit. I haven't looked at any of the material, so I'd be pretty bad at grading this in terms of quality of what you're learning. But I agree with what you said. It doesn't hold a lot of value in terms of job listing. So when I look at stuff, I look at, are they teaching you on the jobs things? Or are they teaching you theory that's actually useful?
Mm-hmm.
If it's teaching you good theory, especially if you have no background, it's a good starting point. If you can just bust it out and then focus on one of these other ones.
I'll go ahead and rank this as a B tier. All right, so next we have the Certified Ethical Hacker. This one is also controversial. What do you think about it, Mike, as someone doing the red team kind of stuff?
It's not for pen testers, that's for sure.
Okay. Why do you say that?
So sure, it does a little bit of hands-on, but this was the first one my dad actually got. Tandem Cyber is my dad and my company. I like to say I brought him over to the dark side. So he was a retired cop and then started learning to hack stuff. So a really unique thing. So this was the first one he took, and he still wasn't good at hacking. He couldn't do anything. So It for sure, tried and tested, does not teach you how to hack anything. But it may teach you, like a lot of it focuses on command line arguments or how to run tools and stuff like that, but doesn't really dive into like the methodology or how to chain things together. Doesn't force you to work through tough situations like the OSCP might. This is one I would wholeheartedly skip. It used to have a ton of resume power, and that is starting to fall away now. So
really?
You're not getting much for this one, I don't think.
Okay.
Not anymore, anyways.
So where would you put this on the ranking tier list?
I'll be nice and give it a D.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we have
some residual star power here, but not much.
Yeah, I think that's the first one where we might have just said straight up skip it. So this one is be on the lower tier for sure. Next up, we have the Pen Test Plus. What do you think about this, Mike?
Yeah, that's a solid one. It's pretty much CompTIA has this thing, right? They're so good at covering those theoretical foundational materials, and this again falls right in there. I would give it probably a C in this case. It's very good. It's not going to teach you how to hack, but it teaches you a lot of the things that go into the job that's pen testing, like scoping, when you would do something versus another. And it teaches you about reporting and talking to clients, risk. It talks about a ton of the theoretical things that I think a lot of these other certifications skip on in lieu of technical information. So if I was someone who was like keen on going into the pen test route, this may be one I'd slide in after the Security Plus.
All right, last but not least, we have the GCIH. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so this is another one that I have. I actually have most of these, but this is an interesting one. So they do have a mix of hands-on, lots of lab time. So it's kind of like the CompTIA in terms of theoretical, but they actually have labs during the training. However, the biggest roadblock to any of the SANS courses are the fact that they're just so impossibly expensive for newcomers. However, and I would definitely advise anyone watching this video looking to get in, check out SANS. They have a lot of scholarship programs where you may be able to slide in and get a couple of their certifications for free. I was actually in one of their cohorts for veterans, and I got 3 certifications for free. So amazing if you can get that opportunity, amazing if work can pay for them. But if you're on your own, skip it. Not worth it, even though it looks good and shows up in a lot of things. It's even one of the ones listed on government work as well in terms of cybersecurity. Just too expensive and too cost prohibitive for most people. in general.
So you said C, or where would you say you put this on?
I put it a D almost solely because of the pricing. If it was the same price as the CompTIA stuff, I put it up in the A spot.
All right, so we have our completed list over here, our ranking, all these different popular certifications in the industry. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And also, I'd love to have Mike back on. Maybe we'll do another ranking tier list about maybe the red team focused on penetration testing and hacking, or maybe a blue team certification tier list. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comment section below. Any last words from you, Mike? Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, this was a good time. Happy to chat anytime. I've definitely beat my head against quite a few of these, and I can definitely save people some time.
One last question for you, Mike. So let's say someone is a complete beginner in cybersecurity. What kind of certification path would you want them to maybe start off with at first, if they're maybe looking to go into the red team versus the blue team of things?
So in terms of certifications?
Yep, certifications.
I think Security Plus is kind of like the happy medium across whether you're blue or red. It's good. It has a lot of foundationals because, believe it or not, in the red side, you still need to know a lot about what the defense is doing in order to give them good recommendations, in order to think like them when you're in an organization trying to hack your way through it. So you need both. And then moving from there, it depends on your specialty. If you're doing offensive security, OSCP needs to be in that track somewhere. But if it is such a tough certification, I would definitely look at doing a TCM one first, just to kind of break yourself in and start working on that mindset, because it is a whole different way of thinking. Something in between the OSCP. For the blue side, I think blue team level 1 would be a great one right after the Sec Plus. And then you can start looking at other specialty type certification, depending on kind of what catches your eye. You know, both of us know there's tons of specialties, and regardless of what side of cybersecurity you're on. So, you know, choose your adventure after one of those.
And I know you also mentioned you have multiple certifications. I believe you said 19 or so.
Yeah, 19 now.
What kind of advice would you have for a beginner that maybe is struggling with the discipline or putting in the work to get these certifications? What has helped you, like, mentally in order to just stay disciplined and really study and put in the work?
Yeah, so I'm really big on goal setting. So I look at my goals every morning to keep motivating me. That's one. And then I deliberately set time aside every day, no matter what, no matter even if I'm feeling like crap and don't want to study, I just sit myself there and do it, just like you hear a lot of people in the gym. It is working a muscle, and it sucks in the beginning, but over time, your brain will start getting used to, I need to be here, I need to do this. You're looking at those goals every day that are driving you, and just keep imagining, keep thinking about where you're trying to get. And if this is something you can get excited about, it's a lot easier to do. You know, if it's something you enjoy, because that's part of it, right? If you want to get ahead in a lot of these, you have to set that time when you could be out drinking or hanging out with friends versus studying. So, you know, make it a goal worthwhile for you, make it something fun, and it's a lot easier to obtain 100%.
Thanks for your time, Mike. Appreciate the advice. Also, I'm sure a lot of my audience will appreciate that. With that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 50,000 subscribers. And also make sure to hit the like button, and also make sure to check out Mike Small. I'm sure you can add him on LinkedIn and things of that sort. And also make sure to check out Tandem Cyber Solutions. They do really great work and really great service for penetration tests. Also, check out that sales associate program, the sales program with Mike. I'm sure he'd love to have you guys on and connect with you guys. But with that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.